everyone, it's Maria, Solitary Witch Tracks here. I saw that my friend Chris from Broken the Balance did a video for the challenge for the YouTube pagan community, and that the question, or for the first week, was how do we get into our practice or our path? And like Chris, I thought it was a really good way for me to get back into the swing of things, because I've been very less prone to making videos. I was in school, now I'm no longer in school, so I have more time, definitely, but I just don't have the motivation or the desire to make videos. But I do have the desire for that community, and I'm hoping that making these videos will help me make a more active member of the community and just connecting again to people. So yeah, so I haven't been really active because I've been focusing a lot on my yoga, and that's a really strong part of my spirituality. Hecate, who is my matron goddess, she actually did meditation with her maybe a month ago, because I was confused. I felt I was being pulled from different parts of my spirituality. Yoga has been really strong, but I feel like I'm not doing as much ritual, not as much spell work or anything like that, and so I was confused and concerned, and I did a meditation with Hecate, and she took me down this path towards Shiva. She took me towards this path towards Shiva and led me to him and said, this is where I need to go, and that is okay, and it'll all make sense eventually. It'll all, come full circle. And she didn't hint whether or not I'd be back to where I was before my spirituality, but she said this is where I need to be now, and that she'd always be there for me too. She'd always be there. So I was like, okay, I guess do that. So that's where I am, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't been making videos that much. That's skipping ahead of the question for this week. So how did I get here to my path? Well, both my parents are Roman Catholic. My mom's being Filipino, so she's super Roman Catholic, and my dad is Lutheran, and he converted to Catholicism for her, because to him, as long as you believe in God, Jesus, and Mother Mary, it's all good, kind of thing. So yeah, those are my parents and my background. I always realized, I think from the age of 10 or 11, I kind of realized, Catholicism wasn't for me. I just couldn't resonate with it. I couldn't feel what my parents felt. I couldn't feel this devotion. I couldn't feel it. I just questioned everything. I questioned every single thing they told me, and I was just like, why? Why doesn't it make sense? Like, why couldn't gay people get married? Why would someone like Gandhi go to hell for not being Catholic? Because in Catholicism, you're going to go to hell unless you're baptized. So I was like, why would someone like him go to hell? Or, Buddha, or the Dalai Lama even, I was like, these are good people. They're not Catholic, but they're good people. And so things like that I questioned, and I didn't get the answers. They couldn't answer me, and so it was really frustrating for me as a young child. And so I started to explore other spiritualities by via my desktop computer. And this is right when Gateway came out with their computers and stuff for the house, and we got one of those big chunky ass desktops with a huge tower and the really thick, foot thick screen, So and the internet just became a thing. So it's a long time ago, and so I researched different types of Christianity, because I thought, well, I have never, they don't teach you. My parents never talked about any kind of religion. I didn't really watch news as a kid, and Catholic school didn't talk anything about other religions either, so I didn't know of anything else other than Christianity. I was like, there has to be another Christian religion out there for me. And so I would look into baptism and Seventh-day Adventists and all this stuff, all these different things, and same thing, questions had no answers for. I just couldn't connect. I couldn't feel its devotion. I couldn't do it, and it was really frustrating for me, because I was in middle school, and this is the time when you're trying to find your niche and in society, I guess, and trying to find your place and define who you are. And a lot of people could define themselves as Christian. They had this one defining religious aspect to them, and I couldn't define myself. So it was really not so good time for me. It wasn't until when I was around 13 in 8th grade that I Googled religions, or was it Google back then? Oh God, I don't remember. I searched different religions, and I came across Buddhism. And, I never really heard of Buddhism before, and I thought it was really interesting, so I looked up on it, and I really liked it because they preached compassion, enlightenment, and didn't say I was sinful from birth kind of thing, and that I had to be baptized and cleansed. And I didn't feel like I was pressured to be baptized, I was already baptized, but pressured to be good because I was born sinful. And so that was a really big deal for me, because this is right after I had a friend, an next door neighbor. They're Pentecostal, and their daughter scared me because she asked me if I wanted to be saved. She said I was going to hell. She made me believe this. I was young, and she made me believe I was going to hell because I wasn't Pentecostal. And I started crying, and I was like, yes, I want to be saved. I don't want to go to hell because that's a scary place. I was 12 years old. It was terrifying, the idea of thought I could go to hell, because her parents were her father was a pastor, and so I thought, oh, he's a religious figure, a religious authority figure, and he had a lot to say. And she said he thinks you're gonna go to hell. So I was like, oh, if he thinks I'm gonna go to hell, I'm gonna go to hell. And so I went to her house, and she had this huge cardboard stand with all this big colorful pictures of these depictions of the Bible, what happened to people who aren't Pentecostal kind of thing. And they exploited me, and they took a video of it, and they posted it in the church and be like, oh, look, our daughter's a missionary, look what she's doing. My parents were mad. I was completely upset because I had no idea what was going on. I was a very confused child, so that was my final shove against Christianity in general. I was like, people who exploit you and make you feel like you're going to burn is not okay. And so thus I turned to Buddhism. And I did not feel this way. I felt calm, peace, and serenity, something I didn't feel in my practice or my Catholic background, the Christian background that I had. But I still didn't feel this deep connection that I wanted to feel. I didn't feel this religious awe, this spiritual awe. I just felt peace, which is a good thing to feel, but it wasn't. I needed something more. And it wasn't until my best friend at the time, her name was Jennifer, she told me she was pagan. And at first I was a little confused and a little scared, because when you think of in Christian religions, when they talk about paganism, it's something really bad and devil and stuff. So I was like, I don't know, is that a good thing? But then she really explained to me what it was, and how it's earth-based religion. And she was a eclectic pagan, by the way. But it was earth-based religion. It's all about connecting with spirit, connecting with nature, respecting nature, but also empowerment. You could do magic. And I was like, Harry Potter magic? She's like, no, there's vibrations, everything's made of energy. It's basically you manipulating these energies to do what you want them to do. It's a form of taking your life into your own hands and saying, I want this for myself. I'm going to work towards this. I'm going to empower myself to get this. And I thought that was really strong, because that was amazing. I don't know how else to put it, but the idea of being able to take things in my own hands just felt really great, because in Catholicism I was at the mercy of God. It was up to the big man upstairs kind of thing, It wasn't up to me. And so this is really intriguing. And so she gave me a book, I think it was Wicca for Dummies or something. She had 2 copies, so she gave me one. And I was looking at all these different concepts, and I was like, all these different gods and goddesses, and just reading about them. It was so cool, and how you can do all these different things with magic. There's so many, my mind was blown. I was like, wow, there's so much possibility here. I thought it was really cool, but I wasn't and I remember I wasn't really quite sold until for her birthday I bought her a pentacle. And I was like, it was really pretty. It was one of those ones you get from Spencer's or Hot Topic, but it had an amethyst in the middle, and it was really pretty. And I was like, something just told me to put it on. And so I did, and I put it on, and just whoosh, I was like, this is what I need to do. This is where I need to be. I need to be Wiccan. And so anytime I go to her house, we'd read books, we'd take notes together, and it was great. finally something felt so good and so true and resonated with me. It was finally clarity in this tumultuous middle school life I had of not knowing who I'm like wanted to be and where anchored to anything. And so I guess I was like from 14 till 20, I guess 14 to 20, so about 6 years. I consider myself eclectic Wiccan. I first came across Hecate in the book, and like the way the book described it was like all darkness and stuff and scary, and so I was like, can't do that. But she always lingered there. And then I turned to Cara Dwayne. She was all wisdom, and that's something I want in my life. I want to be wiser. I want to know more and to be as older in mind and knowledge. And so I worked with her, but I didn't resonate with her. And then I worked with Bastet, and I love Bastet. I still pray to her, and I have a little altar set up for her just because she was there for me for basically those 6 years. And it wasn't until my freshman year of college that I realized, Wicca just wasn't for me. I felt personally, I'm not saying this for everyone, but personally I felt boxed in. By being a Wiccan, even eclectic Wiccan, and I turned to just general term paganism, earth-based, and it was through that I met people on YouTube like Chris and stuff, and she inspired me to explore my own heritage and my background. And my mom's side, Filipinos, they're some of my ancestors are from the Igorot people, and they're the natives there, and they have a strong shamanistic spirituality about them. And my mom would tell me that my great grandfather was a healer. He would use herbs and things like that, and I just really delved into shamanism, and that was definitely something for me. And so I explored that bit, and I realized on my father's side, or was my mother's side, there's also Native American too. And so I really I was like, wow, because I always had an animistic view of things. I always believed that the earth was a living thing, the plants and animals were living things, we were all connected. And so animism really made sense to me, and that's a really big part of old school Filipino shamanism. They had an animistic culture, and they had a deity for everything, and spirits and everything kind of thing. And I also then explored my father's side, and he's Germanic with Norse background, and so I really got into Asataro and shamanistic Norse practices as well. So right now, at least in that aspect, I'm very shamanistic. So at least for me, it doesn't mean I need to, it doesn't mean I need to use magic. Shamanism for me, it's not necessarily using magic all the time, I guess, but using thought and going out in nature and just using something in nature kind of thing for my magic instead of really big rituals. This is just my personal take on shamanism. For me, shamanism is really simple and just really a deep rooted connection to the earth and to the spirits of the earth and the ancestors, definitely ancestors. And a really strong connection I have with the ancestors was actually with Chris. It was our first time going to the Earth Warriors Festival in Ohio, and we were she was burning legitimate tobacco, not cigarette tobacco, but tobacco leaves in our tent. And we both connected to our ancestors, and we started crying. We started crying because it was the first time I really truly connected to my ancestors. And the first one I connected to I call him Uncle. He's on my mom's side. He was Igorot. I can see him now. He's short, white hair. He's shocking blue eyes, and he's wearing the traditional Igorot male skirt, loincloth kind of thing. And yeah, I can't remember the exact theme for that Earth Warriors Festivals, but I think it was reconnecting and realizing you're not disconnected in the first place. And a lot of that had to do with ancestor work. We had a giant bonfire there, and I saw my ancestors in it, and there's fog that I saw my ancestors in, so it's very strong ancestor work, and it really boosted my shamanistic beliefs, my shamanistic practice. And so I was there for a really long time, and it wasn't until 2.5 years ago I started getting into yoga, because I started getting into studying Indian pantheon, the Indian Hindu pantheon and Hindu spirituality and religion, and different aspects of it. and I got into Shiva. I always have felt something with him too, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. And he got me into yoga, and so I've been really strong in my yoga practice for the past 2 or 3 years. So I guess overall my yoga practice and my spirituality hasn't been as much compared to my Wicca, pagan, and shamanistic practices. But I still do my Sabbats and Isbats, and I go outside and I do that, and I'll just like have a candle kind of thing. So I guess right now my practice is like 3/4 yoga, connecting with Shiva, connecting with everyone, and meditating on the chakras, and then so it's a 3/4, yeah, 1/4. Sorry, it's late. And then 1/4, you know, my shamanistic practice, rituals and magic and things like that. So that's where I am right now. I don't know where I'm going to go, and for a while I was really like concerned with what my practice is now. I was really concerned with not doing as much ritual, not doing as much magic, or connecting with Hecate or other deities, and doing more yoga than anything. But Hecate told me this is where I needed to go, so I'm still trying not to have doubts about it, but we'll see where that goes. But I'm really glad to be making these videos again, and I'm really hoping I will stay up with this. So if I need someone to yell at me, Chris, yell at me and be like, you need to make a video this week, and I'll be like, okay. So yeah, so I really miss you guys, I really do, and I really miss connecting with you and hearing your stories and watching your videos. So I'm really looking forward to doing that again. Thank you. Blessed be.